Good morning, friends and family. Can we talk? Well, it's not we, it's me. But, oh wow. Anyway, the other day, I talked to you about how to break up with someone that's a Christian. How Christians should break up. Now, I'm going to talk about how Christians should keep a marriage going. Listen, number one, when you marry someone, it must be God ordained. In other words, God is putting that marriage together. Number two, God has to be the center of that relationship. In any decisions that you make, anything that you guys have to do that's major and requires thought, you should be talking to God about it. Coming together and praying and asking God what it is that He wants you to do. Do He want you to put the money aside to take a vacation? Do He want you to go to this particular place? Do He want you to spend money on this particular thing? Do He want your kids to go to this school? Do He want you guys as a family to go to this church? Do you guys have people in your relationships that you had before you came together that should stay in your relationship now that you're married or be removed? You talk to God about those things. God has to be the center of the relationship. When you have disagreements, pray before you sit down and talk. Don't talk while you're hostile or angry or revengeful. Walk away. One thing my dad used to do, if him and my mom had a disagreement, and they didn't argue that often, but you could feel it in the atmosphere, the tension. So Dad would take a ride. He would go and take a ride. And I saw it as clear as day, and I'm a witness. You can ask my siblings. By the time Dad got back, everything was calm. Mom was calm, Dad was calm, and as far as we know, they were okay. Now, don't know what went on behind closed doors. Maybe they had discussion when they got home, when he got back, or later that night when everybody went to sleep. But one thing I do admire about my father is that he would take a drive. And he wasn't that kind of daddy that went to go to the bar and get drunk. He just took a drive, and I know because my daddy was a prayer warrior, and I've seen him multiple nights on his knees and hearing him pray for his family. My dad was a true man of God. And so, another situation where my sister and brother-in-law had a disagreement, but instead of them yelling at each other, they talked to each other. And it was so cute. And I remember I was like a teenager at the time, and I was like, man, when I get married, if me and my husband have a disagreement, that's how we gonna have a disagreement. So what they were doing was talking just like I'm talking to you, but they were arguing or trying to get their issues out. So she would say, well, babe, I really don't like when you put down my cooking. And he would say, well, babe, I apologize, I'm sorry, but I never wasn't raised on green vegetables. I don't remember what the conversation was, but it was just so cute. And so when I got married, I didn't argue. When I was married, didn't argue, didn't raise my voice. And even to this day, I'm that way. But that's because of God and the examples that He put in my life. We see different things going on in people's relationships as we grow up, in our parents and our aunts and uncles, on TV. And what we could do is take the good from each one, perhaps the good things, and help that to be, something that could help your relationship work. But the best examples of marriage and relationships God gives us. He tells us the role of the wife. He tells us the role of the husband in His word. Husbands, love your wives as you love yourselves. Wives, submit to your husbands as you submit to God. Of course, that man has to be a godly man. Again, being equally yoked. When you get together, you should be equally yoked. Spiritually. You will have some things that are in common, but you'll also have some things that are different. But those things that are different will be an asset, an attribute to your relationship and not a hindrance, such as the wife spends money like crazy, the husband is disciplined. The husband likes to cook, the wife doesn't. The wife likes to clean, The husband is not so clean. So you work out those opposites to help each other out. You don't, if one person's not doing something, you don't stop doing it because they're not doing it. That's your gift. That's what brought them to you. I remember my ex telling me, he said one thing he admired about me was the fact that I went to church, that, it drew him to me because I was a Christian. And he never did say why. He just said, I admire that about you. So when I met his family and his mom, I understood why. She was a godly woman. His sisters were. The whole family worshiped. And so he wanted that in his, in his marriage. And so that was one thing he admired about me when we were dating. So, I say all this to say a marriage could work. If God is a center, imagine a marriage being a triangle. God is at the top, and in each bottom corner is you and your husband. So long as God is the center and your focus is on doing what pleases him according to his word in that marriage, it will work. Yes, there will be obstacles that will try to separate you. But God said, let what he put together, let no man put asunder. Meaning if he brought it together, no man can divide it. The only person that can separate you guys is yourselves when we get into selfishness. So, and then the last thing, find out your mate's love languages. Find out what their love languages are. And find out about them. Find out, those are things you should be trying to learn when you're dating. Their favorite color, their favorite rose, their favorite food, their favorite place to relax, their hobbies, their interests, how they were raised. All those things is, of course, in the dating process. When you become married, you should know those things about each other. But we don't talk. We just don't talk when we're courting, unfortunately. But that's one thing, how I do. I like to talk. Some people call it, you like the interview. It's like, hey, call it what you want to. But I'm trying to get to know that person and see where our commonalities are and our differences are, and see if that's an area, we can live with the rest of our life. So make the marriage work. Pray together, stay together. That's the key. Pray together, stay together. Keep God in it. When you start to put self in the middle of it and your feelings, you set yourself up for failure every time, and that's how Satan enters in. And talk to each other. Communicate. Stop talking to other people about your business. Talk to each other and talk to God. Keep everybody else out of your house. Like my sister used to say, what goes on at home stays at home. Ain't for everybody to know. It ain't. It's just not. I love you all, and I just pray that you're successful, intentional about being successful in your marriage. I'm not going to talk about how to leave them because, if God put it together, it shouldn't be no leaving. Now, when we put stuff together, hey, that's a whole nother story. Shame. That was me. So, we learn, though. We live and we learn, and we do better. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. I'm a witness to that. So, I love you all. Have a great and awesome day. I'm so glad you stopped by and listened to me talk. Great. I will talk to you soon. Be blessed, and we'll talk later. Bye for now.